Today's topic is very interesting topic. Today's topic is going to be focused more on the intersection between the modern science and the Vedic philosophy, and most of the times it has been seen, or it is assumed, or it is believed that the modern science, whatever conclusions or whatever findings due to the experimentation by the modern science, whatever principles, whatever physical laws or biological laws or laws of the chemistry are being derived and proposed in terms of the scientific theories because of scientific innovation, experimentation, observation, does not comply with what the philosophy has to say, specifically the religious philosophies, or specifically the theology part of the religion. The theology part of the religion is a part of a religion that deals with the existence of the God or not, and often there is a conflict between the modern science, the conclusions of the modern science, and the philosophical conclusions or the religious philosophies as described in the respective religion. And the same is the case with Vedantic philosophy. And so in this session what we are going to do is we are going to see some parallelism between the modern scientific theory, scientific conclusions, the modern science modern science experimentation aspects, and the philosophical conclusions or philosophical observations, so as to speak, the philosophical doctrines based on the Veda, and then we will try to see the parallelism between what Veda has to say about the creation part, which is one of the very much discussed topics in the modern science as well, and the religious philosophies. There are many religious philosophies and have been proposing the different theories of how the world came into existence, how the cosmic creation started, what triggered the cosmic creation, how does the creation look like, what is the system in which the creation happened, where did the creation happen, who created the cosmos, do we really need a conscious phenomena like God to create the cosmic phenomena, with what raw materials the cosmos was created. All of these questions are answered in the Veda, and the same questions are being dealt with by the modern science as well. And there are certain scientific conclusions, there are theoretical proposals proposed by different physicists, metaphysicists, theoretical physicists like Stephen Hawking. So in this session what we're going to do is we're going to take a specific part of the philosophical aspect, which is the cosmic creation, that deals with how the world came into existence, and who created the cosmos, and then we'll try to see the parallelism between the philosophical conclusions by Vedas and the modern scientific theories proposed by the physicist. So hang on tight. We are gonna dive deep into this subject matter. So cosmos. What is cosmos? So cosmos, as defined by the Reader's Digest Great Illustrated Dictionary, cosmos is an orderly, harmonious system or a whole, like a system that is complete, which is orderly, which you can have some order system in it rather than chaos. It's a cosmos, and with cosmos you really mean that there is some order, there is some determinism, there is some harmony, there is a harmonical system that works towards a specific outcome. And it comprises the whole. That is what is termed as cosmos, and in general terms we refer to cosmos as universe. and it could be referred to as different types of terms as well, but in a specific Vedantic philosophy we term it as Brahman. Now we do find a reference of cosmos as defined here, which is an orderly harmonious whole. The similar definition going in parallel with what has been defined here, we also find a similar definition in Bhagavad Puran also regarding the term Brahman or the cosmic egg, if you will. If you literally translate that term Brahman in English, it is also called as cosmic egg from which the entire creation started. So that primordial form of the creation which the scientists might refer to is called as cosmos, or that same term is also being referred to as Brahman in our Vedantic philosophy. And you can also find the references in the Bhagavad Puran also, where it says Brahmanda Varsha Puga Sahasrante Tad Andam Saeva Purushaha Tasmad Andam Nirbhidya Nirgataha. The entire creation, that Brahman created the entire creation, and that Brahman, that ultimate reality. And for those who don't know about the Brahman, the concept of Brahman and that ultimate reality, you should definitely check out my previous session where I dealt with the subject of the ultimate reality as per the Vedas. So I'm assuming that you people know about that. So let me move on. So that Brahman, what is that Brahman? And as defined by Bhagavad in its metaphysical description of how the cosmos came into existence, or that world came into existence, is that Brahman, that ultimate reality, desired to become one to many. It desired to replicate itself, and it took the form of Purusha. The Purusha means somebody who can reside into the creation. So that Purusha, Puri Shete iti Purushaha. So that Brahman took the form of Purusha, and it also Saeva Purusha Tasmad Andam Nirbhidya. That Purusha came out from the cosmic egg. So that Brahman desired to become one to many for self-replication. Due to that desire, he created a cosmic egg out of himself, within himself, which is called as Brahmand. And from that Brahmand, a Purusha came out, or a Virat came out, and then it created the whole cosmos. That is what we get the description about that cosmos, aka Brahmand. And the scientists term it as Brahman, not necessarily created by God though. But we'll dive into the details of what science has to say on the cosmic creation. So let's move on. So there are different theories on cosmic creation, how the world came into existence, who created the cosmos, who created the Brahmand, as per the science, as per the physicists, specifically the metaphysicists, theoretical physicists like Stephen Hawking, and different types of theological systems of other religions like Jainism, Buddhism, Vedic Sanatan Dharma, the biblical religions like Christianity, Judaism, and such type of different theological systems also have presented and proposed the concept of how the world came to existence, or how cosmic creation started and how it came to existence. Now, so it could be primarily be divided in a very high level, and this is not an exhaustive listing of all types of cosmic creation, by the way, so don't quote me there. So the first type of cosmic creation is basically deals with a theistic type of cosmic creation where you require a god to create the cosmos. So that school of thought says you really require a phenomena called God to create the universe, or to create the cosmos. And those schools of thought are termed as theistic schools of thought, and specifically one specific theological system related to the biblical systems like Judaism and Christianity and even Islam. They believe that the creation is one-time creation. God only creates the world just one time. This is the one and only one chance for all of us to do best, to do good deeds, and this is the only chance for us to basically make sure that we get good things in when after life. So they really believe that there is only one time creation. Once the cosmos is created, there were no other cosmos created before. It's this cosmos that God has created, and this is the only cosmic creation that God has. There is not going to be any other cosmic creation by the God in future. So this is the only chance that we have. So that is one-time creation philosophical aspect of cosmic creation. Now there are other theistic religious systems that do believe in a continuous creation of the cosmos. I haven't listed here, but there are other theistic creation that believes in continuous creation, meaning the universe gets created on a continuous basis, it gets dissolved, it gets created again in a cyclical fashion. So that is another type of system. Now moving on to an atheistic system where don't really consider God as the creator, including some of the religious systems like Buddhism and Jainism, they really do not consider God as the creator of the cosmos. And they really believe in a continuous creation of the cosmos, meaning the cosmic creation has been going on for an infinite time, and it is going to continue for an infinite time. So it has started since infinite time. There is no beginning of the cosmic creation, and there is no end to the cosmic creation. And hence these systems believe that it is continuously in process, and you really cannot stop it. The only way you can stop it is through your karma or actions, or through your good deeds. So so this is one of the atheistic cosmic creation theories proposed by such religious systems. Now, coming to the scientific theories, the scientific part of the cosmic creation, there are scientists who primarily believe that you really do not require God for cosmic creation. The cosmos started creating itself by its own due to some external trigger or due to some internal trigger, which need not be conscious in nature, and hence you do not require a God-like phenomena to start the cosmic creation. And that is what most of the scientists believe that apparently. There are some scientists who do believe in the existence of God-like phenomena or the Brahman-like phenomena, including Einstein. He was also a believer of such kind of God, which is not necessarily biblical in nature or as described in Bible, but he did say that he does believe in such type of God which is non-biblical in nature. So I'm assuming that Einstein really believed in a different type of God, but he did believe in God. And so there are scientific theories that believed in the existence of God and that believe that God is really needed for the cosmic creation. Most of the scientists and scientific theories, however, do not believe that God is the reason for the creation. And we are going to dive deep into it. And then there is a theory of non-origination, meaning those schools of thought that really do not believe that there is really a cosmic creation happening at all. They do not really believe on the reality of the cosmos itself. So there is no question of creating the cosmos, or the question does not even arise for it being destroyed. So because the cosmos does not itself really exist, it's illusionary in nature. So the theories like Shankaracharyaji's theory as part of the Vedantic system deals with the theory of non-origination. So in this session specifically, we are going to focus on only scientific theories, and what we are going to focus on is to understand the interesting part of the parallelism that the scientific theory has shown or proposed, and how does it more or less matches with the existing Vedantic philosophies, specifically Vallabhacharyaji's Vedantic philosophy, which is again rooted to the Vedas and the other different scriptures of the Vedic Sanatana Dharma. And the idea is there are a lot of commonalities, there are a lot of overlapping concepts that the scientists have proposed, the modern scientists and physicists has proposed with the Vedantic theories that Mahaprabhu Vallabhacharyaji has proposed. And so in this session what I'm going to bring out specifically is these commonalities, and where are these quote-unquote parallelism between what Vallabhacharyaji has to say and what these other modern scientists has to say, and how they correlate with each other. However, there are differences as well. I'm not trying to equate them all together. However, the idea is for all of us to appreciate the parallelism, appreciate the similarity of the concepts, and kind of appreciate that the science and the religious philosophies doesn't necessarily have to contradict with each other, and we can find a unifying, harmonized and fully synthesized principle to understand that ultimate reality. So that would be my main objective of taking up these sessions. So let's get started. So now, having said that, what does the Vedantic or Veda says about the cosmic creation? So we have theistic, we have atheistic, we have theory of non-origination, and we have there are a lot of other different types of theories as part of the cosmic creation, which I have not listed here. But essentially what I'm trying to say is, how does this compare with the Vedantic theory? So the Vedas doesn't really get the Vedantic theory's main core concept is based on the Brahman, and the Brahman is that ultimate reality, quote unquote, which is as per the definition of Veda, it is an infinite conscious being. So it is a conscious phenomena, it is the real phenomena, and it is infinite in terms of time, space and matter, in terms of the function, names, forms and functions. So you can imagine that the Brahman is a concept that is complete in nature, the whole in nature, and so it does incorporate all types of phenomena, it does incorporate all types of functions, all types of the cosmic creation, because it is simply capable of doing everything and anything. And so the Vedantic theory kind of consolidates and synthesizes all types of theistic, atheistic and other different types of theories within Brahman, and goes on saying that why can't a Brahman take the form of the God? Why, if you believe in a theistic philosophy, and the same Brahman can assume different types of other types of non-godly phenomena, which comes under the purview of the atheism, and the same Brahman can also take the form of the illusion as well, as proposed by the Shankaracharyaji. So the Brahman is fully capable, he's a polymorphic phenomena, it can take any form, names and functions, polynomial, polymorphism and polyfunctional. It is multidimensional in nature, it is multi-form in nature, it is multi-nominal in nature, it can assume any name, forms and functions. So the Vedantic theory tries to find and try to synthesize all of these diverse set of mutually contradicting theories of cosmic creation into one single common concept called as Brahman. And so let's dive into the details of how the Vedantic theory compares with the scientific theory now, because I'm going to dive deep into the scientific theories. I'm not going to go into the theistic or atheistic the schools of thought. In this session I'm just going to focus on science. scientific theories of cosmic creation and the creation as proposed by the Vedantic theory. But the core concept on which the Vedantic theory is based on is the Brahman, which is extremely essential for all of us to be on the same page and understand. So let's get started. So let's first understand what are the main types of the scientific theories with a lot of popularity. Obviously, I'm not listing all these theories in an exhaustive fashion. These are some of the very popular theories proposed by Stephen Hawking and other similar metaphysicists and physicists, and obviously this just highlighting some of them, not all the theories. And so there are primarily three to four theories on cosmic creation. The first one is the Big Bang theory. Now, the Big Bang theory basically says that the current universe was in the form of an atomic structure. It was a very tiny, very extremely infinitesimally small particle before it expanded in this universe. So before it got expanded in a universe, it was infinitesimally small, tiny particle with high density and high temperature. And then suddenly, due to external or internal trigger, the particle could not bear its weight, and it expands with a supernova explosion, and it inflates itself and expands itself into the universe through a gradual process, obviously. So that's called as the Big Bang theory. And the oscillating theory, in fact, says, well, the universe is not actually always expanding in nature, as said by Big Bang theory. So the oscillating theory says that the universe kind of expands and then contracts, integrates and disintegrates, and the cycle goes on of where the things are getting integrated and things are getting disintegrated or expanded, and so it keeps on oscillating. The universe is not following it's following an alternating fashion of expansion and contraction, and so that's what this theory say. And the third theory, which is called as the string theory, the scientists say that the vibrations of the strings creates diversity into how the matter and the energy behaves, and that vibration of the strings are really responsible for diversity of this universe. And through the vibration of the strings, you can really explain any phenomena in this universe, and hence the cosmic creation can also be very well explained through this string theory. So that is the overview of the major 3 or 4 theories that scientists believe in the cosmic creation. And now let's see just a quick overview of the Big Bang theory. So 13.7 billion or 13.8 billion years ago, there was a very tiny particle with a high density and a high temperature, and there was nothing else except that particle, and that particle could not bear its weight, and then it suddenly started inflating itself, and it kept on inflating itself to an extent that led to the development of galaxies and planets and different types of universes. And as part of the theory, it is also believed and proposed that multiple types of universes came into existence. Not just one universe, but millions of universes came into existence due to that supernova explosion from one particle. And then, it's still going on. The expansion is still going on, which is called as the Big Bang expansion. So that is what the scientists believe as part of the Big Bang theory. Now let's see what do we have in the Veda to say about this 3 or 4 different theories that scientists have proposed. And let's see where do we find these references in our Vedic scripture about how the universe or how the cosmos came into existence. So let's start with the Big Bang theory. So the Big Bang theory says that the primordial state of the cosmos, the primordial state of the universe, before the universe existed, there was the existence of black hole, and the black hole, as defined by as the star collapses under the pull of its gravity because of its high density, and no light can even escape, and it becomes a black hole. That when that star collapses under its gravity pull of itself, it becomes a black hole, and then the astronomers believe that that so much density, so much material is being compressed and heated before it is sucked in. So then the black hole starts sucking in all the materials that it encounters or it comes into contact with, and the same type of the phenomena before the creation came into existence. They say there must be some type of this phenomena before the creation, and the same type of black hole concept we find it in Veda as well. And so the Veda says, the Veda has a similar concept, not same name but similar concept as black hole, and the Vedas terms that as Tamas or Mrityu or Shunya, before the creation. Before anything could be created, there was absolutely Shunya. There was absolutely Tamas, absolutely silence. And that Tamas or Mrityu or Shunya is being defined as, in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also it says, Naiva iha kinchana agre asid, mrityanneva idam avrutam asid, ashanaya hi mrityuhu tad mano akuruta atmananvisyam iti Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad it says that before the creation, before the manifestation or before the appearance of this entire universe or the entire creation, that Brahman was in a passive state, was in a non-active state, non-functional state. That Brahman existed before also, before the creation, but that Brahman did not self-replicate at that point of time. That Brahman did not manifest into names, form and functions. That Brahman was just only one. That Brahman was passive. That Brahman did not have the self-awareness, active self-awareness, not in terms of absolute absence of the self-awareness. But that Brahman did not manifest in himself that active self-awareness. And that state of that Brahman is being termed as Tamas or Mrityu or Shunya. So the normal people who are reading this and who are understanding this, who are hearing for the first time, might understand in a different way. Like the normal people might believe that, Tamas or Mrityu might be destruction of something or absence of something. But that's not the meaning of Tamas or Mrityu or Shunya as per Vedant. As per Vedant, the meaning of Tamas is not absolute absence. The meaning of Shunya is not absolute absence of something. The meaning of Mrityu does not mean the destruction of something. The meaning of Tamas or Mrityu or Shunya, it means something is in non-functional state. It exists, but it is not in a functional state. It does not manifest its functional part of it. So similarly to like the animals go into hibernation and the breathing process or exchange of external air, exchange of the oxygen and carbon dioxide with the bodily system, it really, it it does not happen, but that does not mean that the animal is not alive because of the hibernation, though the exchange has stopped. But that does not mean the complete absence of the that does not mean the complete absence of the living system. The same way, it's just not functional, but it is still there. It's not functioning that way, but it's still there. Hibernation doesn't really mean the animal is dead. Same way, the Brahman was in a hibernation state before it expressed itself into the creation, and that is called as really a Tamas state or Mrityu state or a Shunya state, which is similar concept as a scientific concept of black hole. Because the black hole is something that is very hard to understand. The scientists are still not able to understand what happens in the black hole, but they definitely know that because they can infer what the black hole might be, because whatever material that comes into the contact with the black hole gets sucked in into the black hole. And the same case with the Tamas, because it's not an active state. Alright, so now let's move on to the next phase of the Big Bang theory. The first phase of the Big Bang was before the creation there existed a particle with a high density and temperature. The second phase of the Big Bang theory is now what happened afterwards. So that we have a particle with high density, with high temperature. There was no universe, and now we are just getting started of how, getting started with understanding of how the universe came into existence. So let's get started. So inflation happened. So that small particle started inflating, expanding suddenly with a huge explosion. So before 13.8 billion years ago, a single zero volume atomic structure with an extremely high density and temperature caused a sudden cosmic inflation, expansion. Alright, then it expanded, kept on expanding, and then it cooled and reheated again to form an elementary particles, which we call it as the primordial particles for the creation of the cosmos. So this primordial causal part of the raw materials from which the universe is going to come into existence, we call it as Karana Tattva, or the causal elements. As per the scientific theory, they call it as elementary particle, out of which the matter is made, by the way. So those elementary particles also starts to coming into the existence after this cosmic inflation as part of the Big Bang theory. And then they say, then they continue to cool further. These elementary particles continue to cool further, and then they continue to form a complex structure in the matter, including protons and neutrons, and then it forms even more complex structure like atomic structures, molecular structures, and a very complex set of matter and elements, as we see in the chemical elements also. Gas clouds, stars, galaxies, and other larger structures from this subatomic to atomic to molecular to galaxies and stars and planets and planetary systems and solar systems and so on and so forth. So that's how they believe that the cosmos came into existence. Now, what do we have in parallel in Vedantic theory? So Veda says, so before the creation, as I said before the creation, there was only Brahman, which was in a passive state or a non-functional state, as defined as Tamas or Mrityu or Shunya. So the Brahman desired, in that state Brahman was not active, but then suddenly Brahman desired to become many. And that's what that's what Veda says. So akamayat, saha akamayat. That means that he desired. So kamayat. He desired for what? He desired ekoham bahusyam prajayeya. He desired to become many from one. He was one, now he wanted to become many. He wanted to self-replicate himself. There's a reason of why it is, and we will go into the details afterwards, but consider that for some reason he desired to become many. And that was the trigger point of creating the universe. Then the Ved and the Bhagavad Puran continues on saying that then that Brahman took a posture of creating this universe, or self-replicating itself, and that posture taken by the Brahman to create or to take an action to create or to self-replicate or to create the universe, that posture is called as time. So now we are introducing the dimension of time here, how time came into the existence from that Brahman. So it is the Brahman from which the time came into the existence, the dimension of time, as per the Veda. And then the Veda says, well, then after the time evolved from that Brahman took the form of matter, which the Big Bang theory also says that the particle continued to expand and then cool and reheated again and again to form an elementary particles. The same parallel description we find it in Bhagavad Puran and the Upanishads, where it says Prakriter gunasamyasya nirvishesasya manavi cheshta yatah sa bhagavan kalaha iti upalakshitaha. It says that from the Brahman the Prakriti came into existence, which is Sattva, which is Satchidananda Prakriti, consisting of three different gunas based on Sattva, Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam qualities of that Brahman. In parallel to these three qualities of the Brahman, the Prakriti came into existence to acquire three types of gunas, which is Sattva, Raj and Tam gunas, which is again the primordial raw material of forming a basic structure of the matter, as we find a similar description in the Big Bang theory. So the Prakriti came into existence. What happened after? After the Prakriti, all the different types of the matter evolved from the Prakriti because of the interjection of the time into the Prakriti. The time introduces unequilibrium state in the Prakriti, and Prakriti is basically consisting of three guna, Sattva, Raj, Tam. So the time dimension introduces unequilibrium state of the Prakriti, which then causes the Prakriti to create different types of matter in the universe, because each and every matter now consists of different proportion of Sattva, Raj, Guna, and which is what Big Bang theory also is kind of alluding to, which it says it continues to form atoms and molecular structures, and ultimately the matter, and ultimately the gaseous clouds and stars, and then ultimately galaxies. And that's exactly called as, in our terms, in the Vedantic terms, as Prakriti or Prakritik. Specifically the Prakritik Tattva is same as these concepts. Now what happened after that? After that it goes on saying, Vedas goes on saying that then the evolution of motion, the karma, the evolution of the energy, which is the Swabhav, and the consciousness, which is the Purusha, continues to evolve from that Brahman. Now, the Big Bang theory really does not believe in the separate existence of consciousness, by the way, but for the sake of comparison, it need not be completely same. We are just taking up the similar things, similar concepts in Vedas, so it's fine. So let's move on. So now it says that then after these things, then a blueprint of universe was formed, which basically consists of the intermingling of the Prakriti and Purusha, and from that different types of matter got created, the stars, the galaxies, and the larger structure and so on and so forth. The more sophisticated form of the creation started to come into existence, and so we can really find that parallelism here between the cosmic inflation, which is part of the Big Bang theory, and what has been described in the Bhagavad Puran as part of the Sankhya process of creation, as part of the Vallabh Veda. So this is one parallelism. Now let's see one by one the parallelism between the different types of the cosmic creation theories, which I took earlier. If you remember, I took earlier, I showed you a different type of cosmic creation theories like theistic, atheistic, and theory of non-origination. So we'll continue showing how the parallelism comes along with it. So let's go back. All right, so let's start with the cosmic creation. This specific theory which says God is required for cosmic creation. It is the God who creates the universe, and as per the Veda, we really see that parallelism in the Veda also. The Veda also says yes, God is needed. And what is God? As per Veda, as I defined earlier, God is infinite conscious being, which is also termed as Brahman, or which is also called as Purusha, or it is also called as Bhagavan in Bhagavad. And so, you know, the Rigveda and the Chandogya Upanishad also says the same thing, that Purusha eva idam sarvam yad bhutam yad cha bhavyam. As per Purusha Sukta, it says this creation has come into existence from that Purusha, from that Brahman. This whole creation is also the part of that Brahman, and this creation is a form of the Brahman. So whatever has been created is created within that Brahman, by the Brahman, and from the Brahman. And the creation exists within the Brahman, and the creation is all going to dissolve within the Brahman as well. And the same thing is what the theistic religious systems also believe. So we do find that parallelism between the other biblical theistic religions and the Vedantic theory. The other type of parallelism with the scientific theory, which is Big Bang theory, which I think we already discussed about it. Purusha Sukta in Rik Samhita says clearly describes the Big Bang theory, and it says etavan asya mahima ataha jyayaguscha purushah padosya vishwa bhutani tripadasya amritam divi tripad urdhvam udait purushah padosya vishwa padosya bhavat punah पादोस्य इह अभवत् पुनः ततो विश्वं यक्रामत् शासनानशने अभि तस्मात् विराड जायत. So what it says that tato vishwam yakramat, that Purusha was only one and only one before the creation. That same small tiny particle, if you recall what happens in Big Bang theory, it started with a very small, tiny, infinitesimally dense, infinitesimally tiny, with high temperature. The creation started with that smallest ever particle that you can ever comprehend. That smallest particle is being said as Purusha in or Brahman in terms of Veda. Yeah, and then Veda says what happened after that state, and it says suddenly that Purusha desired to become one to many, and it expanded. It says tato vishwam vyakramat. The term vyakramat is also an expanding Big Bang theory, like how it expanded suddenly from one to many. Spontaneous creation. Tato vishwam vyakramat. It expanded itself to become one to many. And this is called as Big Bang theory in Veda. Veda also describes a different type of creation as well. Not just Big Bang theory, not just spontaneous creation. It also describes a sequential creation. And the sequential creation, we find it in Taittiriya Upanishad. It says, Tasmad va etasmad atmanaha akasha sambhutah. This Brahman, from this primordial tiny particle, or in terms of Veda, from this primordial Brahman or Purusha, it manifested what came into existence. It says, Tasmad va etasmad atmanaha akasha sambhuta. Space came into existence from that Brahman. Just the space, the intermolecular or interatomic, or within the atomic structure also, the space, the actual space came into existence. And then Tasmad va etasmad atmana akasha sambhuta. Akashad Vayu. Then Vayu came into existence from that space. Vayu Agni. After Vayu, Agni came into existence. Ragni Rapaha. And then the water came into existence from the Agni. Adbhya Prithvi. Prithvi Tattva came into existence after the Jala Tattva. And then Adbhya Prithvi, Prithivya Oshadayaha. And then all different types of edible things came into existence, required for the metabolic process for a living system came into existence from that Prithvi Tattva. So you can see that it's really sequential in nature. It is not one explosion and everything got created. It's not Big Bang theory. It's a sequential theory. The creation happens sequentially, one by one, step by step. While in Big Bang theory it says everything come into existence at the same time. We do find both types of creation process in the Veda. Mind it, Veda does not describe only one type of creation. It describes different types of creation process, cosmic creation process. It describes the Big Bang process. It describes a sequential process or sequential creation, and many more. I've described only two, but there are 6 or 7 different ways of cosmic creation as described by Veda. But anyhow, we do find a parallelism between the Big Bang theory and Purusha Suktam. Absolutely yes. Let's move on. Now let's find a parallelism between the oscillating theory of science and what the Vedantic scripture has, or Vedic scripture has to say about, which is specifically here is in Puran. So what the oscillating theory says that the universe continuously expands and then contracts. Expand, contract, and it just keeps on alternating itself. Right? The same exact description we find in Brahmanda Puran, which is avyaktam karanam yattat nityam sadasadatmakam pradhanam prakritim chaiva yam ahuhu tattva-chintakaha jagadyonim mahabhutam param brahma sanatanam vigraham sarva bhutanam avyaktam ajam sukshmam trigunam prabhavapyayam asampratikam agyeyam brahma yat sad asat param tasya atmana sarvamidam vyaptam asit tamomayam. See, again it describes, it alludes on saying that the universe gets expanded and then it goes into the state of passive, which is tamomayam, and then again it expands and again goes to the passive state, again it goes into the active state and again going to the passive state. It just keeps on alternating itself, which is again same as oscillating theory. If you kind of dive deep into and kind of go into the deeper inner meaning of this specific textual reference of Brahmanda Puran. Alright, now let's move on to the next part. Specifically Stephen Hawking has proposed the theory of theory of everything, and as per of theory of everything, or specifically called as grand unified theory, Stephen Hawking goes on saying that there is a point of unification. There is a point of unification. There is an element that possibly can represent the unity between different types of energy and matter. Specifically in his terms, he says predicts that the theory predicts that even at a higher energy, the strong and electroweak interactions will unify into one. It says unify into one electronuclear interaction. So it does believe in unifying all these different interactions at a high energy level into unifying into one interaction. And that's exactly what Vedantic philosophy is saying. And it says that there has to be a point of unification, and point of unification of different diversities that we see in this cosmos, the apparent contradictions that we see in this cosmos, the different diverse functions, different diverse forms, different diverse behavior, diverse phenomena, mutually contradicting possibly at times. There is a point of unification of all these different diverse contradictory phenomena, which is termed as again Brahman or Purusha. And so Veda says there is a unified force, as same as proposed by the grand unified theory. There is a unified force, and that unified force is termed as Purusha or Brahman. And it goes on saying, Purusha eva idam sarvam yad bhutam yaccha bhavyam. That same Purush, that one unified force, has manifested in different types of energies, potential energy, kinetic energy, mechanical energy, different types of matter, and different types of name, forms and functions. And so exactly the same is the conclusion derived by the Vedantic theory as well. So definitely there is a great amount of parallelism here. Very interesting. Another interesting phenomena that we see here, this very, very similar concepts defined by science and Veda, is the black holes. Now black holes, as per science, says the star collapses, and I think I took this earlier as well, under the pull of its gravity, until nothing, not even a light, can escape. Not even a light can escape. It becomes a black hole. And this exact same type of description, or almost similar type of description, we do find in Vedantic philosophy, which is termed as Tamas or Mrityu or Shunya, which I took it up earlier as well. And specifically, it says, No sadasid, tamaha asid, tamasa gudam. See, the exact term is tamas. Asid idam tamo bhutam apragyatam alakshanam. Exactly those characteristics that has been attributed to black holes. Exactly same. So very interesting to note. Now another interesting parallelism we do see is Stephen Hawking has proposed this theory a long time back. Don't know if he believed till his last moments in this theory or not. I'm not sure about that, but he did propose at one point of time in his life that we're not talking about just one universe. We're not talking about just one. There possibly could be multiple types of universes out there, which we are not really aware of, but there is possibility to have multiple universes, which is basically multiple Brahman. And each universe may have different set of physical laws and scientific laws, or the chemistry laws, or laws of chemistry, or laws of physics. It may have different types of creation, it may have a different type of dissolution, may have different types of modes of sustaining itself, and so on and so forth. So each universe may have different, maybe operating differently, may have a different laws of physics, and may have a different altogether its own cosmic creation. May have its own way of creating itself, and so that is actually termed as multiverse theory, as per Stephen Hawking. And in Vedic philosophy also we do see the similar concept of Ananta Brahmand, which we call it as multiverse in terms of the multiverse theory. Anant Brahmand, as said in Bhagavad Puran also, and many other Upanishads, it says, Vikaraihi sahito yuktaihi visheshadibhi avruta andakosho bahi ayam panchashat koti vistrutaha dashottaradhikaihi yatra pravishtaha paramanuvat lakshyate. And then it says, Anye kotishaha hi andarashayah tadahu aksharam brahma. Akshar Brahman is the platform in which multiple universes gets created. That is what Veda is saying. From that primordial Param Brahma, Akshar Brahma got evolved. Akshar Brahman is the platform in which the creation happens. So first, the Brahman manifests itself into the platform of creation. And that platform of creation, as called as Akshar Brahman, hosts multiple, infinite Brahmand, infinite universes. Kotishahi andarashayah. Andarashaya means Brahmandarashayah. Tad ahuhu aksharam Brahma. The one that hosts multiple or infinite universes in itself is called as Akshar Brahman. Again, Akshar Brahman is the place, a platform on which the creation happens. Again, it is another form taken by that primordial Brahman, as per Vedantic theory. Alright. I did talk about different types of theories of creation earlier, including the Big Bang theory, the creation based on oscillating theory or pulsating theory, and the creation based on string theory or theory of everything. And so there are different types of theories I did talk about earlier. And so science, most of the physicists believe that there is not one. You can't have only one type of creation. You can't possibly imagine only one type of cosmic creation. There are different types of creation process that a universe has gone through. So it says, like particle, the universe does not have just a single history. It has multiple different types of creation, is what they are trying to say, each with its own probability. And our observations of its current state affect its past and determine the different histories of the universe. So they go on saying that the universe necessarily does not need to manifest through one specific type of creation. It must have followed various different types of creation for it to come into existence in this way. That's what science is saying. So don't get stuck into one theory of creation. Open up your mind, broaden your vision, and possibly try to comprehend the fact that you can't restrict the universe to come to existence only through a specific theory. A universe must have followed different process of creation to come into existence because of its diversity. The exact same thing or possibly similar things are being said in Vedantic theory also. And Veda says, Evam kada, and this is Mahaprabhu Vallabhacharya saying, who gives the essence of the Veda, essence of the cosmic creation, and the form taken by that Brahman, because we believe in Brahmavada. Everything, anything, and everything, and anything and everything, it happens through, on, by the Brahman, is what we are saying. So we are Brahmavadi. Mahaprabhu Vallabhacharya is Brahmavadi. So he says in his Tattvati Nibandh, he says, Evam kadachit Bhagavan sakshat sarvam karoti. Sometimes the Brahman creates the universe wherein he does not have to change the proportion of Sattva, Raj, Tam, Gun. It does not have to do that. Brahman follows one specific way of the creation, in which he himself does everything. Kadachit Purusha Dwara. The Brahman also, sometimes the Brahman follows a different way of creation. through the Prakriti and a Purusha based on Sankhya system. So Brahman follows the Sankhya system as well. Sometimes the Brahman also follows the third type of creation, which he calls as Kadachit Sarvam Atma Iva Bhavati Iha Janardana. The fourth type of creation, he says, sometimes Brahman creates an illusionary creation, Mahendra Jalavat, which is the dream state. When we dream, the world that comes into existence in our dream is illusionary in nature, Mahendra Jalavat. So Brahman follows different types of cosmic creation. You cannot possibly restrict that ultimate reality to follow specific set of process of creation. You cannot do that. You have to give the liberty to that Brahman to follow any or every process of creation. You cannot restrict that Brahman into a specific framework of process of creation, is what Mahaprabhu Vallabhacharya is also saying. The same thing is being said by the modern science now, that universe doesn't have just a single theory. It has multiple different histories, each with its own probability. Right? So there is more or less a good amount of parallelism in terms of, God follows different theories but doesn't get restricted into one theory. The same thing the science also is now alluding to say that universe does not follow. Universe could follow all the process of creation, but you can't restrict the universe to follow only one specific process of creation. All right. The other parallelism that I see here in terms of the modern science philosophy is the dark matter. So the science says that there's a white matter, white energy, which basically means the matter that we can interact with, the matter that we can experience through science or through the direct interaction with that matter. Yeah. And then there is a dark matter and dark energy, which we cannot possibly interact with. And dark matter is something that we cannot interact with, we cannot see, we cannot perceive, we cannot experience, we cannot feel it, but they do exist, is what the scientists believe, that there is something called as dark matter. Although it is hypothetical form of matter, and that matter does not seem to interact with anything. You can't interact with it, but it does exist, is what scientists say. It does not even respond to light, does not respond to electromagnetic field. You can't really detect that object, but it's there. That type of matter is called as dark matter. And the science goes on saying that dark matter constitutes of almost 85% of the total mass in this universe. So imagine, like, we don't know most of the part of the universe, which constitutes of 85%, which is not experienceable phenomena. You can't really experience 85% of the universe today, which constitutes the dark energy, dark matter. And if you combine dark energy and dark matter together, consolidated, it's almost 95% of the total mass, and that means that we really cannot interact with almost 95% of the universe. We really don't have means to interact with 95% of the universe. That's what you're saying. The Vedantic philosophy also says the same. Veda says, Etavanasya mahima padosya vishwa bhutani tripadasya amritam divi. That Brahman, that primordial Brahman, only 1/4 part of that Brahman is manifested in the creation. The rest 3/4 part of that Brahman still remains inexperienceable. You cannot experience that. You can't really interact with that 3/4 part of that Brahman. Only the 1/4 part of the Brahman has manifested into the creation, in the world, in the universe, into the entirety of the creation. The rest 3/4 part of the Brahman still remains incomprehensible. You cannot comprehend that. You cannot possibly interact with that three-fourth part of the Brahman. That's exactly the same concept that science is also saying, the dark matter and dark energy. So you can see it's very interesting to see all these concepts of scientific concepts of cosmology and the metaphysics are coming very closely and very similar to what the Vedic cosmic creation also has to say. And so here's a very high level diagram and the representation of the different concepts which we went over. We've gone through the universe, multiverse, dark matter, dark energy, Big Bang theory, oscillating theory. It's kind of representation of all of the concepts put in one place together. And imagine Akshar Brahman, which is a platform on which the creation happens, and that Akshar Brahman basically hosts infinite universes, which is being shown in here as multiple types of Brahman. You can see at least three Brahman here, and you can imagine infinite Brahman in the locus of that Akshar Brahman. And each Brahman or each universe follows a specific set of laws of physics and laws of chemistry, and Veda also says so. And Veda says Big Bang theory or the string theory. In Veda, Big Bang theory is called as Agni Visphullinga Utpatti. There is a sequential or Kramik Srishti. There is Mahendra Jalavat Mayiki Srishti, which is illusionary in nature. There is a steady state theory, which Veda also has a similar term, corresponding term for that. But there are different types of theory of cosmic creation which we find the references in modern science as well as similar references in the Vedantic theory. And then the oscillating theory is something which we call it as the theory of Sankhya system, which consists of at least 5 raw phenomena, which is time, motion, consciousness, matter and energy. Kala, Karma, Swabhav, Prakriti, Purush. It's exact same matching in the matching terms in matching concepts in the Vedic philosophy. And remember, I talked about that only 1/4 part of that Brahman manifests, and we can and it manifests into creation. And the same thing I've shown in this diagram, which is like 1/4 part of the whole is manifested. The rest 3/4 part is still a dark matter. Right? This whole thing happens in a dark and white matter both, but we really can't comprehend the dark matter. We can't really interact with the dark matter, and that's exactly what the Veda is also saying, that Padosya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Amritam. The 3/4 part is still, you can't experience that. 3/4 part is still is beyond our comprehension. You really can't grasp that 3/4 part, which is same as dark matter and dark energy. So I hope this was helpful. There are a lot of technical things that I had to go through and a lot of deep dives that I did. I hope this was helpful. And we are at the end of our session. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to take on. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to post in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer the questions. All right, let's see if I have questions. All right, let's see. Any questions? Do we have any questions? All right, I guess not many questions. All right, we'll end the session today. Thank you for joining, and we'll have another subject matter on the cosmic creation and how it correlates with the cellular biology. So I'm super excited to bring on this topic next time to you. Oh, there's a question. All right, it says, is Sri Krishna manifested form of Brahman? Yes, Sri Krishna is the Parabrahman, It's just a difference in the name. But yes, as per the Vallabh Vedant, as per the theory proposed by Mahaprabhu Vallabhacharya, and which is again based on the Vedic texts, including Shruti, Smriti, Puran, Itihas, Agama Shastra, everything. It is through all these scriptures. Yes, Sri Krishna is the primordial form of Parabrahman. Yes, it is the primordial form of the Parabrahman, Sri Krishna. Yes, exactly. Alright, I guess no other questions. Thank you very much for joining. Jai Sri Krishna. Thank you.